Sturgeon caviar is one of the most expensive food items in the world. It is a food consisting of salt-cured roe of the family Accipinceridae. Caviar is considered a delicacy and is eaten as a garnish or a spread. Caviar is made from the fish roe of the female sturgeon. The sturgeon is believed to be a prehistoric animal that has existed since the time of dinosaurs. There are about 27 species of sturgeon. The largest is the beluga sturgeon husso, which can live 100 years and weigh over 1.5 tons. Due to overfishing, damming and pollution, the wild sturgeon is now an endangered species. Therefore, farm-produced caviar has now become popular where sturgeon fishes were provided with water for their home and springs for spawning. The breeding. The male sturgeon sperm is collected into dry containers filled with a mixture of oxygen and air in the ratio of 1:1 where it is stored at a temperature of 0 to 0.5 degrees Celsius. Eggs are manually stripped by gentle massaging of the posterior abdominal area of the female sturgeon and collected into dry containers. Sperm should be added to water by making a 1:200 dilutions to provide the highest probability of monospermic insemination. The sperm-clouded water is poured into the eggs and stirred with a feather. The eggs are sticky. In the wild, sticky eggs help to stick to the rocks at the bottom of the river against the strong water current. But for the hatchery, the stickiness should be removed. Blue clay or fuller's earth is added in order to effectively remove the stickiness of the eggs. After deadhesion, the eggs are rinsed with sterilized water until the deadhesion substance is completely removed. The deadhesed eggs are placed into an egg incubation system, ensuring their even covering with water and their lifting into the water column. The duration of incubation for different sturgeons is water temperature dependent, which ranges from 50 to 240 hours. The hatching pre-larvae are transported to circular concrete or plastic tanks. On the day after the stocking of pre-larvae, the membranes, dead eggs and individuals with anomalies should be removed. The feed, water and oxygen level. The feeding of larvae starts with Nauplii of Artemia, minced oligochaetes and a small portion of zooplankton on the basis of 3 to 5 gram of feeds per 1,000 larvae. Considering that it is normal behavior for sturgeon fry to rise to the water surface at night, it is recommended to feed them with zooplankton in the evening, while feeding with oligochaetes, etc. in the morning and afternoon. It is essential to provide a water supply to the tanks of 4 meter square of up to 20 liter per minute at transition to exogenous feeding, up to 30 liter per minute at rearing from 0.5 to 1 gram, and up to 50 liter per minute at rearing up to 2 to 5 gram. Oxygen content in this case should be above 6 milligrams per liter. Transferring fingerlings to ponds and natural waters. When fingerlings attain 40 to 120 milligrams, depending on the standards for the species cultured, they are transported in water-filled containers to the ponds. The rearing of fingerlings in ponds is the final phase of the combined sturgeon reproduction technology scheme of hatchery production. The prime feed items for sturgeon fry and fingerlings reared in ponds are different species of zooplankton, mainly Cladocera, and some benthic organisms, primarily chironomus larvae. The food-based nutritional requirements of the fry should be performed by application of organic and mineral fertilizers. The application of mineral fertilizers, superphosphate and ammonium nitrate involves adjusting the nitrogen and phosphorus concentrations to 2 mg per liter and 0.5 mg per liter respectively. During pond filling, when the water temperature is low, these parameters can be reached by application of 90 kg of ammonium nitrate and 90 kg of superphosphate per hectare. At the second phase of pond filling, the amount of both fertilizers applied should be reduced to 60 to 70 kg per hectare. Harvesting the caviar. Female sturgeon only begin producing eggs after 4 to 20 years, depending on the species. A beluga can take up to 20 years to reach maturity. A female fish only spawns once every several years. Non-invasive ultrasound express examination is conducted in the frontal and transverse planes to harvest the roe when it's perfectly ripe, which is a major advantage to consistently produce the highest quality of caviar. Here is the extraction theater where sturgeons are operated in a semi-sterile environment. Strict hygiene control and brand new facilities divided into separate zones ensure the highest hygiene standards. The roe formed in the female sturgeon is protected by a layer of fat during development. Shortly before the female lays the roe, the fat is absorbed by the eggs, and that is exactly when the roe is at its best. The roe is processed by taking the roe sac and running it over a very fine mesh screen that separates the egg from each other. Following that, the roe is rinsed in salted cold spring water, and cleansed from any membrane therein. The caviar is evaluated according to the size of the eggs and their color. The color varies in different shades from gray to black with hints of green and amber. Sea salt is added to dramatically enhance the caviar's flavor. The products are packed into the traditional original tins in order to preserve their sensorial qualities and kept in the cold store. After aging for 3 to 6 weeks at -2 degrees Celsius, the caviar is repacked in metal tins of different sizes by a pressurized vacuum device virtually sealed and isolated from outside, and where the air is continuously filtered to prevent any bacterial contamination. The final product is then shipped to wholesalers and caviar lovers around the world.